Hey, this is CJ with CJ's DIY channel, and if you watched my previous video on cleaning my pool, my vacuum head that I was using quit working, so ended up going and buying a new one, and then the weather kind of turned bad on me, and got a lot of rain and stuff, so I'm just now getting back to finishing it up. So the good news is I'm going to be able to show you how I siphon the water through the vacuum head and the hose, whereas on my previous video I got a phone call in the middle of that and cut that part out because it quit recording. But so I'm gonna show you how I do that and start vacuuming this out again. So what I do to get this siphon started in the hose is you just pull the hose out real quick and jerk it all the way to the ground. And sometimes it might take a couple of times, but that'll get the water flowing, and just the gravity will start the suction going through the hose. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so as you can see, that's all it takes to get that going. And then what you'll want to do is give you some hose back in the pool. And what I do is I just clamp it in here in the side of the pool so it can't fall out and run out, and then just run your hose here out in the yard. Okay, so as you can see, that got most of it. Now I'm going to take my skimmer net, and I'll get the big leaves and stuff that's falling to the bottom. I'll get those out of there. And then it's just scrubbing the pool with the pool brush. Okay, well, I got the bulk of it on top, and by the time the pool fills up, it'll have some more in there anyway. And the pool skimmer on the side of the pool will get a lot of that too. So now I just got to wait until it fills up. Okay, well, this is the next day, and as you can see, I got the water filled up, and I scrubbed on the pool a little bit last night before it got too dark, and I got about half of the sides done, and I still got to do that side over there. But this in the middle, that's just from scrubbing the sides basically. I did turn the pump on last night, and I've been letting it run since last night just through the sand filter. I do not have the salt water system going just yet, but weather has really hindered me getting this completed. It's actually supposed to start raining here again just in a few hours probably from now, and actually tonight they're saying we actually should probably get some snow and sleet tonight, and temperatures are going to drop back down in the 20s, so which is unusual for this time of year in this area. But so anyway, like I said, that's kind of hindered my progress on this to get it done in a timely manner. So I apologize for not getting these videos out quicker. The weather's also hindered me from doing other projects that I had planned for my trailer and whatnot. But hopefully the weather will get better here in the next week or two, and I can get back to getting some projects done. So I'm gonna go ahead and scrub the rest of this pool, finish getting the sides over there done, and then I'll vacuum up this stuff that's in the middle here and put the I'll have to fill the pool up with salt for the salt system, and then I can I'll let that run. After you put the salt in it, you got to mix it real good, let it run for 24 hours, and then after that, then you can turn the salt water system on, and probably vacuum it a couple more times, but then it'll be crystal clear. Okay, so I got the sides scrubbed pretty good. There might be a little bit left on them, but I get that later. But in doing so, it's got the water stirred up pretty good. So what I'm going to do is let it circulate for about 30 minutes, and all the stuff that's floating in the water will settle back down. And then I'll hook the vacuum up to the pump and suck all the dirt that's on the bottom of the pool out, and then after I do that, then I can add the salt to the pool for the saltwater system. So now what I'm going to do is unhook all this and put in probably about, I'd say, I'm going to put in 80 to 120 pounds of salt. What you do on the salt is it's based on how big your pool is, on how many pounds of salt that you use. And this, when I shut it down for the winter, I drain the pool to about, I drained 2/3 out of it, so it's got about 1/3 left in it. And normally if if this pool, if I was starting it fresh with no salt in it whatsoever, all fresh water, it would take 160 pounds of salt to properly get the amount of salt in it that you need. But since I drained it down to a third left in it, that means there was still salt left in it. Salt doesn't evaporate; it stays in there all the time. The only way you lose salt is, of course, when you splash the water out, or when you displace it with fresh water. So when it rains and when you add water to it, you're displacing the salt content. But like I said, I've drained it down to a third, so I'm thinking about 120 pounds will probably be more than enough to get this back started. So that's what I'm going to add in it right now, is 120 pounds of salt. Okay, so here's the salt that I'm going to use. I actually got this salt give to me. My sister, she had a saltwater pool a couple of years ago, and she made the mistake of draining too much water out of it when she put it up for the winter, and the wind came along and literally destroyed the pool. Blew it over into a barbed wire fence and ripped holes all in it. So she decided she wasn't gonna get another one, and she had some salt left over, and so she gave me actually 4 bags, and I'm gonna use 3 of them today. But salt's actually really cheap for pool salt. These are normally about I'd say $6 a bag, typical. Depending upon where you get it, it's anywhere from $6 to $8 a bag. But and like I said, to start this back up, it'll take these 3 bags, and then throughout the summer I may have to add 1 to maybe 2 bags throughout the summer, just from, like I said earlier, if you splashing water out and then you replace the water with fresh water, you do that enough times, well, obviously you're displacing the salt when you do that. So you may have to add salt throughout the summer, but it's not very expensive at all. That's one of the things that I really like about the saltwater pool. Very low maintenance, easy to maintain, and very cheap to maintain. So I'm going to start putting this in there. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just take the pool broom, and I'll sweep that around the pool just to break it up, get it dissolved real good, and let the system run for 24 hours so that salt is good and mixed up and dissolved in the water. And then I can turn the salt water generator on. And like I said, the weather's supposed to turn really bad tonight, so it may be a couple of days before I can do a final and show you how clear the water is after I get the salt water going. But that's pretty much it. Pretty simple.